third team in 3 seasons. Diggs gives Jaden Daniels another weapon and creates a dangerous 1-2 punch with Terry McLaurin at wide receiver. Steph Diggs has had a 1,000-yard receiving season with 3 different franchises, the Vikings, the Bills, and the Patriots. He's seeking to be the 3rd player in NFL history to record a 1,000-yard receiving season with 4 different franchises, joining Brandon Cooks and Brandon Marshall. So, Stephen A., we'll start with you. If you like the fit for Steph Diggs and the Commanders.
I don't know. And here's the reason why I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get from Stefon Diggs. Now, before Stefon Diggs had the nasty injury that pretty much ended his career in Houston, the brother was an all-world receiver. And I think that, he's experienced, he's gutsy, he's got a lot of heart, he's got skills when he's 100% healthy. I got nothing but respect for the brother. And when he was in Minnesota and essentially pushed his way out of there, I didn't blame him one bit. They were trying to big up Thielen at his expense when everybody and their grandmama knew he was the best receiver on that squad and he deserved better. He was in Buffalo, engaging in some histrionics from time to time on the sidelines because they were underachieving. You know what? You don't want that, but you don't expect less from a wide receiver in most instances anyway. So you get that, you understand it. Last year in New England, this is what bothers me. They didn't really have anybody receiving over 600 yards. Drake May can throw the football, right? He can quarterback, right? I expected more. The fact that I didn't see more, I'm not blaming him for that per se. I don't know. I'm just wondering what's he going to bring to the table for the Washington Commanders. I know Daniels can ball. We know what he did as a rookie. We expect him to resurrect himself after missing 10 games last year. McLaurin is that dude. We understand he's the number one. If the best thing I think right now you can say about Diggs is that he clearly is not going to be the number one guy.
Yeah.
So because he's not going to be the number one, and McLaurin is there, that's going to be of great assistance to him in his ability to excel because they're going to be keying on another wideout as opposed to himself. But I got to see him because I got to see if he's lost an additional step or if he's gained something because he's gotten healthier. It's really about his health. It's not about his game. I got complete faith in his game. It's his health that I'm worried about.
Short of bringing back Aaron Donald, this is as good a move as any team can make in August. Last year, Stefon Diggs led the NFL in catch rate. We know he can be a security blanket, downfield, intermediate. Jaden Daniels, I talked to Dan Quinn about this a couple weeks ago. Jaden Daniels wants to run more under center so we can have more explosive plays, run that play action, take deep shots. That's going to be Terry McLaurin. What Stefon Diggs is going to be is a security blanket, a volume shooter, get the ball in his hands, let him do good things. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think that this is massive. I think a lot of times we talk about sophomore slumps and all this stuff. A lot of times just rosters. And last year, Jaden Daniels just didn't have the roster to take a step forward. I love everything about the way the Commanders approach this offseason. I like Jaden Daniels to regain his rookie form this year.
Yeah, I was going to mistake of mine. I know he had over 1,000 yards. I was talking about the rest of it, but Steph.
We got you. We figured out what you're putting down. Yeah, I love the addition of Steph Diggs. I mean, he was second. I mean, he was top 10 last year in first down receptions. He was second in catches above expected, which is basically grading the degree of difficulty in catches. And then, of course, Drake May had a 113 passer rating when targeting Steph Diggs. So if you're a young quarterback, when you throw the ball in Diggs' direction, generally good things happen. Now, what will be interesting to see in Washington is how the organization handles his workload, because if you saw last year in New England, he was in the game for around 60% of the offensive snaps. And so at this stage in his career, it'd be trying to find the exact right place for him in terms of the amount of plays that he's going to be on the field and how that impacts the tendencies on the offense is critical. But going into year 3 for Jaden Daniels, having a receiver that can present a reliable target that sees the defense the same way the quarterback does and finds open holes in the coverages and can be reliable in terms of a hands catcher, I think that's critical for Jaden Daniels to have a bounce back year.
I want to take what both of y'all said. He had over 1,000 yards receiving. Obviously, the second primary weapon is Hunter Henry. He was relying on him. Everybody else, not so much. I guess what I'm saying is this. If he was all that, right, they make such a big... Now, A.J. Brown is A.J. Brown. He's an absolute stud. We get that. There's levels to this, and A.J. Brown is on another level. Why didn't they keep him anyway?
Because of the legal... The baggage.
Yeah, the legal uncertainty,
exactly.
and then you make the move for A.J. Brown.
The baggage.
I mean, somebody else grabbed him. I mean, it's like...
But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Stephen A., here's the other thing, though. You got to have the right personality as a head coach to deal with Stefon Diggs. In New England, that's not a problem with Mike Vrabel.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. In Houston, that's not a problem with DeMeco Ryan.
Right.
It was a problem in Buffalo with Sean McDermott.
That's true.
It was a problem in Minnesota with their coach.
But he was in New England.
I'm just simply saying this. When you start to look at the situation, New England had already moved past it. New England knew they were getting A.J. Brown. New England signed Romeo Doubs. New England already had the top 2 receivers on their depth chart set.
So
Steph Diggs didn't really have a place
A.J.
to
Brown
fit
is
with
one
them.
thing, but Romeo Dobbs, who was considered an elite number 2.
Yeah.
I get that, but I'm going like this. Based on everything y'all saying about Stefon Diggs, you just came off of a Super Bowl berth, and you were willing to let him walk.
I can't have too much personality in that wide receiver room, Stephen A.
Okay.
Like, I got A.J. Brown. I got A.J. Brown. I got A.J. Brown. I don't need to have
Okay,
Steph
all right.
Diggs.
I need an explanation.
Yeah.
DQ, Dan Quinn was the coordinator of the Legion of Boom. Okay,
Yes.
he understands
Oh, right.
big personalities. So
Yes.
I think that locker room part. I listened to the Patriots beat writers the last 24 hours. Diggs was beloved in that locker room. So
No doubt.
I don't see any issues now going forward.
Okay.
What about the protection for him, though? So much of the
Yeah.
Commanders' success is going to hinge on Jaden Daniels and his health.
Yeah, and they drafted Josh Connolly last year. We'll see how that goes up front. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I was talking about the roster stuff. C.J. Stroud was failed in his sophomore year going forward because of a bad offensive line. It is up to that offensive line to protect Jaden Daniels. It's up to Jaden Daniels to protect himself. I talked to Jordan Love 2 days ago in Green Bay, and I said, what's the key to quarterback development? He said, the number one thing is knowing how to protect yourself. So Jaden Daniels has got to do that a little better, especially when he runs in the open field.
He surpassed, listen, Diggs has surpassed 1,000 yards 7 of the last 8 seasons. Wow.
Yep.
We get that part. We know what he brings to the table. But I'm thinking, I'm going back and I had to look at it and remind myself, 9 games due to the ACL injury. He's never looked the same to me. That's all I'm saying. And I'm like, what are they saying now? Y'all telling me the baggage. I'm like,
Sure.
They were just in the Super Bowl. He was beloved in the locker room. You understand? Vrabel, that personality, he can handle it. I'm just saying.
I think he can.
But I got it. I know you're right. I know you're right.
I think he'll be fine. But when it comes to the question about Jaden Daniels and him being healthy,
Yeah.
the Washington Commanders and offensive coordinator David Blau
Yeah.
have to find a way to get him under center more.
Yep, they're gonna.
Staying in the shotgun.
that's what they're gonna do.
Staying in the shotgun is a good way to get your quarterback hurt. How do I know that? Last 2 seasons, the top 3 teams when it comes to shotgun snaps on offense: the Cincinnati Bengals, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Commanders.
All injuries.
All quarterbacks, all injured.
That's why they made the coordinator switch.
They have to get into formations where there's more deception, so the 11 sets of eyeballs on the defensive side of the ball don't know where the football is at all times. Because guess what? If those guys know where the ball is and they can key in on the quarterback, then all of a sudden they can get a lot more hits on the quarterback.
Saying all of these stuff.
That has to change.
And all of this stuff with my question marks, I got to still give love where it's due. Number 1 in reception percentage last year at the wide receiver spot, 82.5%. That's Stefon Diggs. Got it. The brother know what he's doing. He knows how to play. I was just saying you were in the Super Bowl and you were willing to let him walk for Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? I'm just saying. I'm asking these questions. I was cute.
He can be a top 5 number 2 receiver in this league. Not to the T. Higgins level, not to Detroit, but in that conversation.
He knows how to play, Steph Diggs.
Good way to put it, Kev.
It's a great way.
Good way, man. It's a good way.
Another guy who does is Jonathan.
Stefon Diggs' arrival in Washington creates one of the most intriguing storylines of the upcoming NFL season, and this discussion does a solid job of examining both the excitement and the uncertainty surrounding the move. The analysts acknowledge his impressive resume while questioning whether he can still perform at the same level after returning from a serious injury. A key takeaway from the conversation is that Diggs may be in an ideal situation to succeed. With Terry McLaurin already established as the Commanders' top receiving option, Diggs can focus on being a reliable complementary weapon instead of carrying the entire passing attack. That role could maximize his experience, route running ability, and dependable hands. The panel also emphasizes how valuable a veteran receiver can be for a developing quarterback. Beyond making catches, Diggs brings football intelligence, consistency, and an understanding of defensive coverages that could accelerate Jaden Daniels' growth. His presence has the potential to make Washington's offense more efficient and more difficult for opposing defenses to defend. Another strength of the segment is its discussion of the Commanders' offensive philosophy. The analysts explain how improvements in protection, offensive balance, and quarterback usage may be just as important as adding another talented receiver. That broader perspective helps place Diggs' signing within the context of the team's overall strategy, rather than viewing it as a standalone move.